Hey everybody, this is Ben Hansen from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends, and getting better. This is a clip from the Cohort Hootenanny. It's going to be confusing for you, but this is a Patreon exclusive podcast. Whenever we have somebody support us on Patreon at the highest tier, like in this case, Jawar Hello did, we record an emergency bonus podcast with as many cohorts as possible. So I hope you enjoy this big group discussion. You can unlock the full podcast for the Hootenanny, for the big group discussion, and Bonus Pod, which is our Patreon exclusive podcast that airs every single week, early access to the MinnMax show, which is ad-free, the podcast version of the Deepest Dives, a ton of other content by supporting MinnMax on Patreon at patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's at the $5 tier. So if you enjoy this tease of a larger group conversation, you want to hear the whole kit and caboodle and a bunch of other content, please support us on Patreon. All right, thanks so much. And thanks to our hello. On with the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hootenanny.
No, false.
With all
no, false.
Of MinnMax.
I'm reading false. I'm reading acting. This doesn't feel right.
Oh, I bought in. Favorite. I was ready to listen.
Quit horsing around, everyone.
Yay! She still got it. Let's see. Should we talk about Kelsey's birthday? Should we talk about something else? How are we feeling as a group?
That's like by the time anyone's listening to this, my birthday is done and over.
I like being 30. I think it's like it feels like the hype I get when it's like a new year and like that fresh start feeling, but like for a decade of time to me.
Yeah, the whole
well, I still don't know anything, even though I'm 30 now.
Kelsey,
but I'm hoping
I'm
that
not buying it. I'm sorry.
I'm embarrassed to say, I feel like 29 is an embarrassing age because I want to say like, oh, it was like me and a bunch of 30 somethings because that's what I feel like I feel way more in my 30s than in my 20s right now. And so it's weird to be like, technically I am 29, so whatever.
I've been saying I'm 30 for a while.
By the way, shout out to Cliffy B's 5 minutes of stand-up he posted on social media.
Oh, well, that's how we're going to be ending this episode is
live reaction?
Live reaction to Cliffy B's stand-up.
We probably shouldn't, genuinely. It's very inappropriate.
Really? Like to the point that we absolutely should not?
I couldn't imagine. Sarah, did we gloss over? Did you say that you have just been telling people you're 30 already?
Yeah, because people are like, how old are you? But then when I feel like I'm saying 29, it feels like I'm defensive about being 29.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just say 30 just to test the waters, right? Like slowly submerge myself in being 30.
What if you
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But what if like you just say it and when it comes out of your mouth, you realize you hate it so much? It's like when you're testing the waters, but you realize the water is hot lava.
It is so sad going from I'm in my late 20s, really late 20s to going into like I'm in my 30s.
Hello, I'm in my
early
30s. Goodbye.
The dirty 30.
Jeff, are you okay saying your age on this very podcast here and now?
If I can remember it.
I feel like, especially with the white headset on, it makes you. It probably erases like 5 years. It's like, I wouldn't see a 50-year-old in this context.
I'll just pull this out and then I'll.
Yeah. I don't believe that there are 50-year-olds who are wearing big headsets. So by wearing that, I'm like, obviously must be
you should
bigger.
get some like Beats by Dre and some Shutter shades.
Yeah.
Nothing says younger.
I'm freaked out when old people do not have the wisdom that I desperately want them to have.
This past Thanksgiving, I was like, I've got a question to ask my 2 living grandmas, and I asked both of them, and the question was, does life feel long or short?
Yeah, good.
And they both were immediately like, short.
That's scary.
Please
lie to me, Grandma.
I know.
I asked my grandma a similar question. I guess not a similar question, but something to do with age. When I was younger, I was like, "Hey, Grandma," she was probably like 65 or something at this point. I was like, "When do you start feeling like a grown-up?" She's like, "I'll let you know."
Yeah.
Great grandma answer.
Love grandma stuff like that.
You guys know the fake it till you pass away. That's what they always say.
Fake it till you're suddenly dead.
I'm really just killing time here on the podcast, I'm being honest.
I mean, what's your answer to that, Leo? Does life feel long or short?
I asked it because life feels so short now, and I was worried about it ending. I was kind of fixated on that, and I was like, maybe by the time I'm old, it will feel different. I'll feel ready, and maybe I still will. But
I was just thinking the other day, and maybe I'm broken, and I'm in a good space mentally, I swear. But I was just thinking the other day of like, God, I've been alive a long time. And like, I like life, I like living, but it's like everybody complaining about life being short. It's like, I guess, but like, I'm just looking back. I've woken up so many times. Like, it's still going.
Yeah. You get up and you're like,
Hanson,
again?
Yeah,
Like,
a little bit. I'm excited.
It feels like having a child thing or something.
Yeah,
like,
were you
just
changing
tired.
diapers when you were thinking about that?
I guess so. Don't you all feel like, good Lord, this has been a lot of time?
It's a lot of experiences in there.
Yes.
I think
Sometimes,
from
yeah.
age 5 to 10 felt like 10 lifetimes, and everything else feels like 2 years.
I think the best you can do when you get old, I don't know, like I really appreciated that my grandpa, when he was really up there in his mid-90s and stuff, he just did a lot of like, well, I've had a really good life. Like, and it was a really sweet note, you know, like I think you owe it to the younger people just to kind of be like, I'm content, just for that illusion even of when you get as old as I am, you'll also feel like, yeah, that's the finish line, which I don't think any of us will be like. We'll be scrambling, trying to stay in the race, you know, but just to give that illusion, I think is important to the younger generations.
I'm going to be screaming on my deathbed.
Help! Why isn't anybody doing anything about this? Look at this wrinkle. Come on. But we should close out the only way we know how to close out, which is hearing one joke from Cliffy B's stand-up comedy show. Oh, the closer.
Oh, God.
Now, if it's an 11-minute 23 second video, when does the closer start?
Tight 11 minutes and 23 seconds.
Like 2 minutes back?
10 minutes.
I'm scared for what this
probably.
is.
Okay, here we go.
Probably gonna
I
be
don't
longer.
remember what the closer was.
Please don't leave chair. Like, that's really expensive too.
Did you know that you can more than double the amount of podcasts from MinnMax every single week by supporting us at the $5 tier on Patreon? You don't have to listen through the browser or anything dumb like that. You'll get access to a private RSS feed if you support us on Patreon. You put it in your favorite podcast app, and then bam, you can listen to our weekly bonus podcast Party Chat, the podcast versions of The Deepest Dives, MinnMax interviews, Max spoilers, and you get the MinnMax Show podcast a day earlier than everybody else. So please help support independent games media. Head over to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's.